Austin News at 9.
My mom deserved better than that. And it's just wild that he just had to take my mom and her boyfriend's life just because he was late for a flight.
Tonight on Fox 7 News at 9, the family of an East Austin woman killed in a car crash is speaking out in an exclusive interview. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Warren.
And I'm Destiny Chance. In late January, Joanne Menchaca was killed alongside her longtime boyfriend, Jose Velasquez.
The Department of Public Safety says the man who hit them was speeding and told the trooper he was late for a flight.
Shannon Ryan joins us in studio with the story, something you'll only see on Fox 7 Austin. Shannon.
Mike, Destiny, the driver, Joseph Diaz, is now facing manslaughter charges. I spoke with one of Menchaca's 4 sons. He tells me he honestly hasn't given Diaz much thought. He's devastated by the loss of his mother.
My mom was actually really awesome, and she was wild, and she lived her life the way that she wanted to live.
This weekend marks Joanne Menchaca's 46th birthday.
Even if I tried to tell her don't go out, she would out.
But there are no plans for a party this year.
Later on, we'll go to the cemetery and take her some balloons and stuff.
The mother of 4 died late last month in a car crash with her longtime boyfriend, Jose Velasquez.
I'm just glad she didn't, die alone. It's crazy.
The Department of Public Safety estimates the driver who hit the couple, 21-year-old Joseph Diaz, was traveling anywhere from 100 to 120 miles an hour at the time of the crash. He told a trooper he was late for a flight out of Austin and in a hurry.
My mom deserved better than that. And it's just wild that he just had to take my mom and her boyfriend's life just because he was late for a flight. It doesn't make any sense.
Today, on Menchaca's birthday, the home she once shared with her son Adrian feels empty.
Now it's just me and my bird.
Every photo, every trinket in the house, a painful reminder of what her family has lost.
Just brings so many memories, but this is my home, and I don't really have that many places to go.
And Menchaca didn't have life insurance. Her family has started a GoFundMe to help cover expenses. If you're interested in donating, you can visit our website, fox7austin.com, to learn more.
2 people are dead from a shooting in Round Rock last night. The Pflugerville Police Department responded to a call of shots fired at around 8 o'clock Saturday night. When officers arrived at the 800 block of Cheyenne Valley Cove in Round Rock, they found 2 people with gunshot wounds. 56-year-old Patricia Niles was dead. 53-year-old Timothy Niles died after being taken to the hospital. The shooting is believed to be an isolated incident with no threat to the general public. The investigation is still ongoing.
Residents of an apartment complex in Round Rock were evacuated after a structure fire broke out this afternoon. This impacted several people, and emergency crews were on scene for hours. Fox 7 Austin's Amanda Ruiz joins us live in studio with the latest. Amanda.
Destiny, through the initial investigation.
The first death outside of China has been reported today in the Philippines. Leading authorities will delay the opening of schools and tighten quarantine measures in some provinces. The Philippines Department of Health says a 44-year-old Chinese man from Wuhan was admitted January 25th after experiencing fever, cough, and a sore throat. He then developed severe pneumonia. A woman traveling with the man first tested positive for the virus and remains in the hospital isolation in Manila.
This is the first reported death outside China. However, we need to take into mind that this is not a locally acquired case. This patient came from the epicenter of this outbreak, Wuhan, China, where there have been a very large number of deaths.
President Rodrigo Duterte approved a temporary ban on all travelers except Filipinos from China and its autonomous regions. Here in Austin, dozens of people gathered in Chinatown Center to celebrate the Chinese New Year, but we're told attendance wasn't as high as previous years because of questions surrounding the new coronavirus. Take a look. Chinese New Year. also known as Spring Festival.
We come here every lunar calendar New Year and watching line dance and firecrackers.
Saturday and Sunday, dozens of people in Austin celebrated together in Chinatown Center.
And it's a day where families, it's all about family. It's all about getting together.
A sea of red lanterns, strings, music, and family. Many joined in to celebrate this ancient Chinese festival to bring good luck and start over fresh.
We do obviously lion dancing for Chinese New Year, Vietnamese New Year, also known as the Lunar New Year. In Vietnamese is known as Tet. The Tet celebration. It's a huge celebration for our culture. It's celebrated for a minimum of 3 days, possibly, and sometimes it goes for 2 weeks.
It's been a 20-year-long celebration in Chinatown Center, but one of the main topics of discussion for many was the new coronavirus that originated in Wuhan, China.
I heard it on the news. And I feel scared. I know it spread fast.
I know it's a big scare. I hope it gets under control soon. Yes, it has affected a lot of people.
It even impacted the number of people who attended celebrations this weekend.
This year seemed more quiet, less people. Probably, assuming a coronavirus scare, people show up less this year.
But despite being worried, this weekend's crowd made sure the festivities went on. Senators will be making their final cases in the impeachment trial over the next few days.
At least one House manager is now vowing that Republicans will pay a heavy price for failing to act in the best interest of the American people. Details on that story next on Fox 7 Austin News.
News at 9.
Tomorrow, closing arguments are set to resume in President Trump's impeachment trial.
A vote for acquittal is expected to happen on Wednesday after the Iowa caucuses on Monday and the State of the Union address on Tuesday.
Fox's Kevin Cork takes a look.
There's obviously little appetite among Republicans to continue this impeachment battle beyond Wednesday. It's already going beyond the upcoming State of the Union, but that is not stopping Democrats, including some in Iowa, from continuing the good fight on the campaign trail. In fact, some are assailing the president's likely acquittal as illegitimate.
It counts by the procedures of the Senate, but I don't think that it has the legitimacy of vindicating this president, because it's very hard, even for Republican senators, very hard for them to actually look a voter or a camera in the eye and say that this president is a good leader for the United States of America.
While senators will make their final cases over the next several days, at least one House manager is now vowing that the Republicans will pay a heavy price, in his words, for failing to act in the best interest of the American people.
I'm not letting the senators off the hook. We're still going to go into the Senate this week and make the case why this president needs to be removed.
White House officials, meanwhile, have been relatively muted since a vote to reject calls for more witnesses in the Senate trial. But the president's defenders say it is clear that the Senate made the right call in doing so.
In the criminal context, that would be called a victory, a great victory. Here, if they haven't charged an offense, then maybe he hasn't been acquitted, but he also hasn't been charged. He's in exactly the same situation he should have been in had they done the right thing and not impeached him at all.
So the White House strategy moving forward is fairly simple. Watch and wait, with the presumption that Wednesday the president will be acquitted. But our sources tell us here at Fox News expect the White House to come out swinging, triumphantly so, if things go as expected Wednesday afternoon. Traveling with the president in West Palm Beach, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Well, it was pretty warm today. What does the rest of the week look like?
Chief Meteorologist Scott Fisher has your full forecast right after this quick break. Stay with us.
News at 9.
With the Senate impeachment trial adjourned for the weekend, the battle to win Iowa is reaching a crescendo.
Most of the top-tier Democratic contenders spent the past few days in the Iowa campaigning in the run-up to tomorrow's caucus.
Meanwhile, the president's re-election campaign team is already looking ahead to November.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich has the latest on the race to the White House.
Let's get up and take this country back and be the nation we can be and should be.
On the ground in Iowa, a flurry of Democrats vying for a coveted win in the first-in-the-nation state.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs aren't the only ones that will be sporting new rings after the Super Bowl. Today, couples were lining up to say "I do" on February 2nd, 2020. Fox's Chelsea Edwards explains the importance of today's date.
Tying the knot is already an unforgettable occasion, but there's something extra special about getting married on Super Bowl Sunday.
We kind of wanted to do like the ultimate never forget day.
9 couples are walking down the aisle February 2nd, 2020. The date is a palindrome, the same forward and backward, and has extra special meaning for these two.
The date was based off of when we met and when I asked her to start dating me.
It was the day he proposed.
They say game day is just a bonus.
Well, your anniversary falls on Super Bowl. What's going to happen then?
Super Bowl party at our house, right?
Yeah, right.
So far, the Courthouse Wedding Chapel has more bookings on 2/2/20 than Valentine's Day, with ceremonies every hour on the hour.
It's just been very surprising.
Are you watching the game today?
Apparently not.
Watch party or not, the special day is kicking off many memories to come.
So what are you looking forward to now that you're married?
Another baby?
Oh, okay. Another baby.
And with all the easy-to-remember dates in 2020, this wedding day is opening up a busy year ahead.
Many of these couples are starting their new lives by watching the big game. Then it's on to the rest of the honeymoon from there. Reporting in North Houston, Chelsea Edwards, Fox 26 News.
We've got a heat wave on the way before the week is done, but we also have a chance for some sleet or snow. I'll sort it all out for you. Weather's next. You're watching a late edition of the Fox 7 Austin News at 9.
You're watching Fox 7 Austin News at 9.
In Texas, few road trips are complete without a stop at a Buc-ee's convenience store.
Oh, for several decades, that chain has developed a reputation of elevating the rest stop experience. And now they have even bigger plans for the future.
Yeah, as Fox's Tom Ziska learns, those plans include expanding outside of Texas to multiple states.
From modest beginnings to 35 stores and counting, when you hit the road, Buc-ee's wants to be a part of your trip. Texas travelers will recognize the show.
Welcome to Buc-ee's. Would you like a sample? Come on down and try jalapeno cheese smoked sausage. Yummy.
I had no idea that it would evolve into this.
Beaver Applin is the imagination behind Buc-ee's. From his first relatively tiny store opened in 1982 in Lake Jackson, Applin and partner Don Wasik have steadily built a highway empire of dozens of locations, like the 55,000 square foot Katy Buc-ee's, where row upon row of gasoline pumps and pristine restrooms are only the beginning for people on their way to someplace else.
I want this to be part of their trip. I want them to decide they're going to stop at Buc-ee's before they leave their home.
Applin is laser focused on making sure Buc-ee's is a worthwhile destination for travelers. He'll use buzzwords like clean, organized, and friendly, but it is so much more than that. People come for the experience.
You walk through and you feel at home and you feel good about it. You feel like everything's warm and cozy and you just have to have it.
They're always really nice here. That's what makes me want to come here.
Of course, you know, bathrooms are clean and we always find little gifts and things that we like. And then we like the snacks.
The drink and snack choices are beyond expansive, much of it freshly made on site.
They holler that out, fresh brisket on the board every time when they bring a brisket out.
From a Texas staple like smoked brisket, you can get it sliced or chopped, ready to go. Sandwiches, fresh fruit, treats, there is no excuse for going hungry here.
This is the fun part of the store, I guess.
Then there's the curated collection of Texas tchotchkes, coolers, and Buc-ee's themed apparel. The kind of stuff you didn't know you needed until you saw it sitting on the shelves.
Next guest.
All of it delivered by a small army of Buc-ee's team members who are well paid with benefits. While Buc-ee's is clearly iconic in Texas, there are grand plans to move the brand outside of the state. Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, they're all on the books. The real trick and the gamble, if you will, is trying to make sure that all of this works there.
Here in Texas, they know and they come to expect it and they hold us to a high standard. In other states, they won't know what to expect. But if we get them one time, then I suspect they will hold us to that standard like they do here in Texas, and then that'll be our job to maintain that standard.
And if the magic of this rest stop theme park, as some have called it, can be replicated with a new generation of traveler, The lure of getting to a Buc-ee's will take you farther and farther down the road. Beaver Applin insists each Buc-ee's has unique characteristics added to the core basics that customers depend on, like a bag of beaver nuggets. No wonder a lot of places really lobby heavily to join the Buc-ee's family. When the first out-of-Texas location opened east of Mobile, Alabama last year, 10,000 people showed up the very first day. Tom Ziska, Fox 26 News.
Coming up, Super Bowl 54 was supposed to be a thriller, and it didn't disappoint. Dennis De La Pena will have the post-game recap.
And John High has a super story of a friendship forged by ink. Next in sports.